Greetings viewers, if you click the video link, you already know what you're here for, so let's go ahead and get into it. We are talking about the Remington Versamax Competition Tactical Shotgun. However, not to be outdone, I do happen to have my dad's original regular version Versamax, which is nice because I'll be able to give you guys a direct head-to-head visual comparison of some of the features and the bells and whistles they added to this thing in order to give it a new name, paint job, and price tag. So first thing we're going to do, as usual, I'm going to jump into the unboxing. Unfortunately, I got this thing back when it came out. All it came in was a cardboard box. I do still have all of the stuff, so I'll go ahead and show you what it came with, and then I'll show you what the standard version came in as a comparison. All right, so not pictured here is the cardboard box that this thing came in. You're not really missing anything there. You can imagine what a piece of brown cardboard looks like. So main thing comes with a owner's manual. This is just for all the generic versions, since again, they are basically all the same. So it teaches you how to do various things with your shotgun like any other instruction manual. The Competition Tactical, like I said, comes with the optional magazine tube extension, which has already been installed. What you're seeing here is the original cap that came on it before adding that extension. So this just has a separate instruction sheet on how to do it. It shows a magazine clamp here in the instructions, but that definitely never came with my firearm, so I'm not sure where they're getting that from. And then we've just got some other various information, the excess sight system that comes with it, how to replace the parts, and then it's got that. So, and it's got the drift tool and the optional sight pieces here with some Loctite. So that's what this particular item is. So that goes with that. And then again, just your service plan here for your various models of your shotgun. This is an optional cheek riser. There's a plug in the stock that you can remove and install this on there if you need to raise your cheek up off the stock a little bit. It does come with a lock that actually covers the entire trigger guard area. Again, it's just a cheap kind of chintzy lock. It's not the normal standard doofy cable one that comes with every other gun, but this one is, again, better than nothing. It does have two length of pull spacers here with the appropriate screws to use, so if you do need to increase the length of pull on your shotgun, it comes with the ability to do that to a certain point. Any more than that, you'd have to go outside of what you get in the case to take care of that. It does come with a Picatinny rail section. It uses 4 screws that are included with pre-applied Loctite in the bag. So if you want to, again, use an optic system on your firearm, you have the option to do that. This is a replaceable front sight, and it's got the little tool to kind of help you get in there and do that. So the one that comes on there is a yellowish green color. This one's kind of a reddish pink. So if you want to switch colors, you have the option to do that. It does come with 3 different chokes and a choke wrench. Again, the choke does stick out past the end of the barrel, but it does still have those little notches, so this tool is rather helpful if your choke is tightened down too much and you can't grip it here because this is the portion that would be outside of the barrel. You have the option of, again, using that choke wrench that goes down inside, engages those lugs, and will turn. So it does use the Remington Pro bore, so the 3 extra chokes that it comes with here. We've got a light modified at .014, an improved cylinder .009, and a modified at .018. This is the one that I currently have installed because the last time I shot it I was shooting skeet, so I have the skeet choke in here that is .004. I don't remember which one came installed in the gun, but those are all 4 of the ones that come with it whenever you would have purchased this thing new. So like I said, this is just the standard magazine cap that I've replaced that carbon fiber tube extension with, so I don't have it in reverse. That's already been installed, so this is the only thing that came off. We've got an Allen wrench in here that's got kind of a little rounded tip on there. As you can see, this is used for taking apart your gas piston system when you disassemble it for cleaning. There's a little tiny magazine plug. This thing is pretty much useless with the 8-round capacity, and then if you have the +2 extension on there, anything that's going to require restricted rounds, you're going to need a lot longer plug than this. So since this just comes with their standard Versamax shotguns, they included it as well. And then last thing in here, we have a cast plate. This gets installed inside of your stock. There are instructions in the manual on how to do that. And basically what it does is it kind of shifts your stock if you need it raised, lowered, moved left, moved right. Because of the way that you shoot or hold the gun, or your left eye dominant, whatever your case is, and you need some sort of offset on your stock, That's what this little plate's going to be for here. And again, it has instructions on how to help you with that. So that's all that comes in the cardboard box with the Competition Tactical. Let me show you what came with my dad's standard edition original Versamax. All right, so first thing you notice, this is a hard plastic case that has the Remington Versamax logo on it. No cardboard box here. So we're paying several $100s more for an upgraded fancy version and a downgraded carrying option. So I have 4 latches on it. Once we get this thing open, it's designed to store the shotgun in 2 pieces. It does a pretty good job at that. Even with the longer barreled version, so my barrel is a lot shorter than this, so that would definitely fit in there. We've got our same choke system here. It's got a pocket over here for length of pull spacers. It's got this little flip up contraption here. It's got everything else. It's got a choke wrench. This particular one happens to have a spinny handle on it. Same cast plate, same length of pull screws. It's got instructions for the trigger lock, which would go right here. I'm guessing he probably tossed that in the trash. Again, same magazine plug. One of the big differences here, it does come with this, or it did come with this fiber optic option. So there's white, pink, green, yellow, red. You've got various size of the end pieces here. You've got a couple different options in the same color with the, again, tool that's going to kind of help you finagle those in and out of there. You just kind of rotate this to the color that you want, and then you can pop out the solid white or green or yellow, whatever you want to use to put in your firearm, and then you just rotate it to the empty chamber so they don't fall out. So that's kind of a nifty little tool, and did not come with mine. But other than that, as you can see, like I said, it comes with all the same features. It just comes in a nice little handy carrying case that stores each one of the individual options. That definitely would have been nice to have when it comes to spending more money on a upgraded version of a shotgun than a downgraded version. All right, so now that we've seen what both versions of this shotgun come with in the box, we can actually talk about it. So what is it? The Versamax was introduced by Remington in 2010, and it was discontinued sometime around 2020. I don't know the exact reason why. I've heard varying answers, but I don't know for sure to tell you. It is a semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun. It has a self-regulating gas system. So basically the length of the shell that goes in blocks off or doesn't block off certain ports, which then kind of tells the shotgun system where to vent the gas, which assists in recoil mitigation, along with the very thick, generous gel butt pad that comes on these things. Typically what I'll do is I will do a tip to tail kind of overview of all the features. Because this thing is so long and I'm not used to working with such large equipment, I may have to switch the camera around, and then that way, like I said, I can give you kind of a direct comparison as to the Competition Tactical version and what you're getting versus what came on the standard Versamax. So let me go ahead and move the camera around a little bit, and then we can kind of cover all these features. All right, so as you can see, I've got the 2 shotguns lined up side by side. You can tell that the Competition Tactical is just a little bit shorter than the standard Versamax there. The Competition Tactical comes with a 22-inch barrel, whereas the other version is a 28-inch barrel. The 28-inch barrel can handle up to 3.5-inch shells. The Competition Tactical only holds up to 3-inch shells. It does have a capacity of 8 rounds, which normally the magazine cap would stop about here, and this is what it would look like when you've got it out of the box. I did install the optional mag tube extension that adds another 2 rounds to it, so it does hold a total of 10. This version here only holds 3, so quite the difference there. Again, you can see where the magazine tube extends out past this one. So we took a look at the choke system that came in there. The choke on the end of the barrel for this particular version actually comes out, and you can grip it with your fingers, where it has the notches in it for the choke wrench. The other barrel here is actually recessed, so you have to have that tool that reaches down inside the barrel, and you can see the choke there. So it is slightly different there from the other version. Like I said, it does come with the optional 2-round carbon fiber wrapped mag tube extension. This portion right here is just a tube that covers the inside tube there, so this actual piece slides off. It does have a fiber optic sight in here. As you saw in the unboxing, it does come with an optional fiber optic post that you can replace if you need to or want a different color on there. It does have the vent ribs on here with a dovetail rear sight. You can see it is notched, and it does have that little white line there. Whereas the other version does not have the dovetail sight. It just has a simple bead back here and then goes up towards that same fiber optic system. So those would be interchangeable there, with the fiber optic front posts. The handguards on these things are identical. The rubber stuff on here, as you can see, it's starting to turn white. It kind of, some rubber products, when they get older, they get that kind of tacky, gross feeling, and that is what's happening here. So they definitely could have used a little bit different materials on that. The Competition Tactical version does feature a QD mount up front on the left side of the handguard only. The standard version does not. I guess you can only use a sling if you are a competition tactical shooter. If you're a hunter, then you're kind of on your own.
Bruh.
So like I said, the handguards are exactly identical. I can swap these back and forth if I wanted to for whatever reason. Once we move back here behind the handguard, this is where the kind of upgraded features start to shine, I guess you could say. So first off, you'll notice that it's got this green Cerakote color on there rather than just the black. Obviously the Remington logo is a little bit more visible on here because they colored it. Big features that they changed. So we've got our bolt release here. This has this very nice large round button that's easy to access and it's very easy to press. The original version, the button here is super tiny and it's actually kind of a pain and it's very hard to depress to get it to go when you need to press it. So that's kind of a terrible feature and a good upgrade here. The charging handle on this, as you can see, is enlarged and rounded. It's got speed holes built into it. It's not as large and obnoxious as a lot of side charging handles that are tactical or upgraded versions that you might think of, but it is definitely a significant upgrade over this tiny little small paddle that you really have to get your hands super close to the shotgun to be able to grab a hold of it. This thing's much bigger. This one's much bigger and easier to grab. So definitely a nice improvement there. All the internals are the same. The bolt, everything there is identical. If you look at the lifter, the original version it's kind of forked, and the Competition Tactical version is not. You can even see kind of it bulges a little bit where that fork is on the other one. So one thing that I did notice, I have used this for 3-gun before, and trying to load 2 rounds at the same time is a heck of a lot easier on this shotgun than the original version. If you try and do that on here, you will get your fingers pinched and caught on this, because as it drops down, when you start to get past it, it kind of bites your finger a little bit and falls down in that notch, and it is not comfortable at all. So quite annoying. The original version, you can see the follower here. It's just a kind of like a high-vis orange plastic, whereas on the Competition Tactical version, it's still orange, but it's an anodized metal follower for whatever that's worth. If you care about that sort of thing. I don't know that I've ever actually had an issue where the follower material made a huge difference. Because of the barrel itself, it's only able to accept up to 3-inch shells, whereas this version only can go up to 3.5. And if you have any questions about that, it is stamped right here on the barrel, and it will specifically tell you what size shells that you can use. So the action release button here is identical. The trigger on both of these shotguns is identical. You would think on a Competition Tactical it might be polished or flat or some other super high-speed variant, but it is the same exact internal components. The safety on here is much larger. It's got this round, domed kind of mushroom shape. The original version here is just kind of flat. It is still big enough to depress, but it doesn't have that dome shape, so you do have to put your finger further down. You're going to save yourself a couple hundredths of a second, I guess, in order to depress the safety. But this one is a little bit more comfortable, and I feel it's definitely easier to reach because I can touch it before I have to put my finger as far down to hit that one. The stocks on these are also, again, identical. They do have that same rubber material here as the fore end, and it, again, over time is getting that kind of weird rubbery tacky feeling. The only other difference you're going to notice here is, again, a QD mount built into the right hand side of the stock on the Competition Tactical, where there is not one on the standard version. Butt pads, again, are the same. It's a nice, super squishy gel. I really like this and wish everybody would put those on their shotguns. It does feature the removable cheek piece here we saw in the unboxing. It's got the little riser that comes with it, so you can put that on if you'd like. And that about covers it for the specific features of the shotgun itself. So I bought this back in 2011. I was shooting 2-gun competition at the time at the local range, and then they offered 3-gun as an option, and that was right about the time this came out. Now, of course, I snagged it up as soon as one came into the gun shop I was working at part-time before anybody else had a chance to get their grubby little hands on it. So I've shot skeet and trap with this thing. I've gone hunting with this thing. I've shot 3-gun competition with it. I've just shot it screwing around on the range. I've shot a variety of ammo from birdshot to buckshot to include military buckshot. I've shot slugs. I've put basically everything that I can from different manufacturers and brands out of it, and I have never had a single stoppage or failure or malfunction. Of course, you're going to find people out there whose uncle's next door neighbor's best friend had one and it wouldn't cycle anything. The only thing that you're probably going to have trouble with is shooting mini shells. I don't know of any production semi-automatic shotgun on the market that stock out of the box will fire and cycle those things reliably. So this is no exception, so I wouldn't try running those in this. Stick with the 2 3/4 to 3-inch shells. Like I said, that self-regulating gas system is really nice. That military buckshot that I mentioned, when I shoot that out of this thing, it feels like I'm shooting birdshot. I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. This is the softest shooting shotgun that I have ever shot out of any platform, which is why I'm very confused that they stopped making it. There must be something going on behind the curtain that they don't want you to see or know about, or something that happened that I'm not aware of. Like I said, it is very pleasant to shoot, so especially if somebody's a smaller frame stature or sensitive to recoil, it doesn't have to be the competition tactical version. Even the other version that I showed you, or one of the multitudes that are available out there, the gas system is phenomenal at controlling recoil, and it feels like you're shooting a 20 gauge, which is what they advertise, and I would say that's accurate, or 12 gauge birdshot. Definitely highly recommend it if you have somebody that is looking for a light shooting shotgun but wants to stick with the 12 gauge family of rounds. The only issue is, again, they stopped production in 2020, so it's going to be hard for you to get your hands on one that's new, so it's likely that it will be secondhand when you buy it, unfortunately, but I would say that it's definitely worth it as long as they haven't done any crazy Billy Bob modifications in their garage. Then I would say that you should go ahead and grab one up if you're interested in it and you're looking for a decent semi-automatic shotgun. All right, so thankfully today the Florida summer weather has actually given me a little bit of a break to run out here real quick and put some rounds out of this thing. I hate doing a review and not actually even shooting it, but again, in the summertime here it gets a little crazy. So I did put the improved cylinder choke in here, so that's what I'm going to be running. And then what I've got is I've got a couple of boxes of actual military issue buckshot. If you have never seen this before, you're not familiar with it. It is, in my opinion at least, fairly notorious for having some pretty harsh recoil. Like I mentioned during the review process of the shotgun, the recoil system of this thing tames a lot of the 12 gauge recoil, especially for this round, down to something that's really manageable, even for something, even for people that are fairly recoil sensitive. Now, the one drawback to this gun is because it is very long, it's also very front heavy, so the person that may benefit from in terms of the lighter recoil, they may have a harder time holding this thing out there because of all that weight out at the front. So it's going to kind of, so you may want to go with a shorter barreled version if that's an issue for you. So I'm going to shut up, I'm going to load this thing up. I have 11 of these rounds. We're going to put them through this thing, and you can just kind of see how light the recoil effects are even with this specific round. All right, like I said, improved cylinder. We've got some military buckshot in here. We're just going to kind of do a recoil showcase, show that it's not so bad. Very manageable, very tame. Again, they advertise that it's basically that of a 20 gauge. I feel like it's shooting birdshot, kind of maybe one and the same. Very easily manageable. If you have any questions, anything about the shotgun that maybe I missed, something I didn't cover, anything additional you would like to know about it, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. I always try to respond to my comments in a timely manner whenever I can, and then if it's something I can't just simply answer in a question form, I will be glad to make a follow-up video or short for you. So like I said, let me know if there's anything else you want to know or that I missed. But with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.